With a name like Luke, you could gather that I was raised in a Christian family, and you'd be right. We pretty much had a traditional family until the age of 8 when my mother and father divorced. School didn't really work out for me. I was usually focused on having a job. I'd rather be working and earning money than being at school, so I dropped out when I was 15, got my GED, and I saw my life going nowhere real fast. So I joined the Navy when I was 18, became an air traffic controller back in 1996. We just recently had come from Japan, and being over there, deployed a lot. I was over there for 4.5 years. And when we got to Pensacola, we started looking for a church. We had found a rather large church, and we didn't exactly feel the connection. Not to say that it wasn't a great church, but it didn't quite fit us. And we had basically kind of given up for about 6-7 months. I felt as though I tried, and that was that. And I just slipped further and further away from His calling to me. In October of 2012, I was involved in an accident, found out that I had ruptured some discs in my neck, and it required surgery. And I had never had this type of surgery where you had to have a living will. That was a very significant moment for me. What came into focus was just how empty I was inside as a man, spiritually. It took 2 months before I was back to work. In less than 5 minutes being in the door, being welcomed back, I got a call that my father had died from brain cancer. I just felt myself falling further and further down into a hole spiritually. I just felt void. I did not feel any happiness. I remember being on the phone with my mother saying, "Mom, I don't know what to do." And she simply said, "Go see a chaplain." And I know the thought was there, but I needed to hear it from somebody else, and so I hopped to. And Chaplain Gibson, who's now retired, he didn't even give it a second thought. He said it right away, Point Baptist Church. The next Sunday I was in service, and I felt the Holy Spirit just weighing down on me like a ton of bricks. I was reminded how far away from Him I was. I had grown up my whole life up until this point knowing Him, but I was not saved. And I thought just knowing Him and being able to quote a few scriptures, settled my salvation. And after being put on the spot, when did you give your life? I didn't have an answer. When did you give your life to Christ? And I came up blank. But now, I have that answer. I gave my life to Christ on July 31st, 2013. And I was baptized on August 4th, 2013. Up until that point that I was trying to get through this life on my own. And what I had realized in being saved is that I was doing it terribly, terribly wrong. We cannot get through this life without Him. Having said all that, I still know that I am a work in progress. I know that I'm a sinner. Each day I pray that I can keep myself on a more God-centered life. And as I do that, I can finally hear Him answering me. As long as I put my trust in Him, I know that I'll be fine and that my family will be fine. And I can't wait to serve the Lord in any way that He calls because of what He's done for me.